I've never been this excited to see Andie except when he said he has a pet bunny. So I'm actually really, really excited to see the bunny. Come on, bunny, bunny. Oh my god! So cute!
不要跳来跳去。
And the bunny speaks Mandarin.
Huh?
Hi, bunny.
Hi,
What's
but it's
his
very
name?
scared. Look at the ears. Let me put it on the table first.
What is its name?
His name is Chen Xiaoguai.
Chen Xiaoguai.
Yeah.
Is this to like sort of bluff your kids?
No, my kids, Aiden named him. Okay, I'm going to put Chen Xiaoguai back so we can continue our conversation. Let's give it a close up. Chen Xiaoguai, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Oh my gosh, it's
Say
so
bye-bye.
good. Well, if anyone cares, this is Biggie. And I also have like some strange secret admirer called Who the Bay on Instagram. Okay.
So now you know Chen Xiaoguai.
Yeah. I mean, I know Avery and Aiden, and now I know Chen Xiaoguai.
Yeah, my third son. I'm a stay-home dad for the next few months.
Wow, and did that not scare you? Like when as a family decision, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I was the guy that wanted to be the fun uncle, right? There's never gonna get married until I'm 40 or 45 or 50, and then like have a trophy girlfriend, trophy wife. All the way to now me being like,
my eyes.
That was my plan. At least that was like seriously my plan. Then now I'm like a stay-home dad.
I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm surprised already, like knowing you all these years that you actually got married and had not one but two kids. But
yeah, you knew me when I was that like Playboy period, right? Like,
yes.
Oh gosh, you're right.
I definitely knew you during the Playboy period, and like, yeah, almost a dog.
Keep the stories to yourself.
I gotta say, well done you, like firstly as your friend. 长大了，终于长大了. Honestly, like I have friends who, in the case like, you know, I mean, just because of the way of the world, like jobs are, especially in Singapore, it's gender contingent. It's not even like, but no one wants to use the word stay home dad, you know, interestingly. They're
really?
like, oh, you know.
Yeah, yes, I think you're right. That's a stigma.
I like how you like totally embrace saying like, I'm kind of like a single dad / stay home dad for like until the end of the year. Most people don't want to say that. Okay,
I personally have never had an issue with like stay-home dads choosing to be stay-home dads. Like, you know, to me, in fact, I find it very happy because like most stay-home dads, I would say they're doing it by choice. I'm very happy when that happens. Yeah, I'm very, very happy. But I get a bit sad because I remember I met this stay-home dad. He has like a good career, but he chose to stay home. And his son actually, we became friends. And then the son actually told me that his dad stays home and takes care of them, and the mommy goes out and work, but he's not supposed to tell other people that. The son told me that like he's not supposed to tell other people that.
Even for myself, like I think in my younger years, right, when people talk about like stay-home dads, I thought it was like, wow, such a cool and like progressive concept. I still think it's progressive. Do I 100% like think it's so cool? I don't know. Strangely, like
So if Terrence wants to be a okay, let's say you have a kid or two kids, and then Terrence wants to be a stay-home dad, and then you can go and work. Isn't that your dream? Like, you don't want to be a stay-home mom, right?
I definitely don't want to be a stay-home mom because I think I will go crazy. I'm not even a mom for a reason, you know? So like...
For the welfare of your kid lah. That's why you're not a mom.
Shut up! But then again, right, I'm not sure I want Terrence to be a stay-home dad. I think there's a part of me that is strangely Asian and a bit traditional. And like, that's why I said like when I was younger, I really liked the idea. But then now if I ask myself realistically, like, yeah, if it happened in my situation, like I would prefer my partner to go out and work. I mean, to be involved in the parenting too, but to go out and work. I wouldn't want to be the only one working. I think I would feel resentful actually. I think it's a lot cooler for me to say, yeah, I totally support the idea. But there's a part of me that there's some strangely Asian conservative part of me that finds it slightly emasculating. And so like from a guy who's going through it, I want to know whether there's any point where you feel like less manly being a stay-home dad.
I've always been someone that is very in touch with my emotions lah, and I feel a lot. I'm a very sensitive guy. You can't tell from this like uppy face, but I am.
You realize he is quite like,
Yeah, I am quite. And honestly, I've always been very career driven, and I've always been very ambitious, and there's a lot of things I want to do, which I still am. Initially, I was very frustrated because I still wanted to work, and I was still working, and I can work remotely, right? So I didn't want to do work less, which is not possible lah. Okay, unfortunately, really.
Of course it's not.
Yeah, it's not possible. So Yeah, and so I was very frustrated, and I unfortunately I did take out some of my frustration on my wife. I did tell her like, oh, like not literally, but I just told her that I'm actually very unhappy and I don't want to talk to you today, something like that, because I am, and I was just angry that she, like, I know it's not her fault, and I know we had a discussion, and I know it was like we came to consensus that okay, we're gonna do this, but I was still very angry that like felt like I was being left in the ditch in a way. And I think a lot of parents might feel the same way, because some stay-home dads or moms, they might want to work as well, but the other person might be making more, or the other person might be more ambitious and more career-minded, and then it's a compromise, right? I have to say that I'm starting to get moments whereby, like, I feel like this could even be my calling. I don't know. Like, not in the sense of like, oh, this is the only thing I want to do in my life, but I think, like, even just 2 weeks in, I feel like there are elements of stuff that I'm doing right now that I would want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be this connected to my kids. I want to be able to do their homework with them, to play games with them, to basically anything that bonds and nurtures them. I feel like I want to do all of that, like all of it, like when something happens to them in school, I feel like I'm going to cry. Yeah, like my son just, I'm not sure if I should say this, but he's just like having a bit of trouble making friends lah. It's not like he's been in school for a long time, but like he just shared with me like, oh, he feel like he doesn't have as many friends as he did back when he was in kindergarten. And I felt like crying. I couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. I just feel so like, oh, how is this happening? And what can I do to help and everything? But I feel this kind of bond that's so close that he actually felt secure enough to share this vulnerability with me. There was a awakening that like I could have gone through their whole childhood without being this close to them. Like, and that was probably what was going to happen if I haven't had this accident that I am now like their sole primary caretaker, not sole, primary caretaker. And I'm like, oh wow, shit, I almost miss like this much depth in our relationship with my kids, and I realized that I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss out this, and I want to work on it like for the rest of my life. I think all parents should go through this because that's what parenting is all about, right?
That's pretty amazing. And
yeah, it is.
Thanks for sharing that like in such a honestly such a vulnerable and like straight up way. I've never heard a guy friend share anything like that with me. Maybe because they've never experienced it before also. Like you say, it's because you really had to give the time, with the circumstances that your son felt close enough to tell you this. I actually do think that's pretty amazing. I'm gonna be the annoying like devil's advocate and
please do. Yeah.
The difficult question though is like, I think that both men and women, right, would love to have that with their kids, but at what cost? Right? Because it's absolutely right that perhaps if let's say Kate were there, this is something more like you would generally tell your mom, right? Maybe he would have shared that more with like say your wife than with you, right?
Whoever the primary caregiver, I feel will be the closest lah. Yeah.
Right. So the cost is you are now the primary caregiver, and that cost is you can't do as much work as you could before. They're young children; they will need time, right? So you can't with having only 24 hours in a day, you will have something's got to give lah. Yeah. And so the cost of that closeness, if it is your work, are you willing to do that?
First thing is that you have to figure out what you're working for, right? In the end, it's what's your end game, right? So like a lot of us, we are just working for the sake of working because there is a false sense of progress and the false sense that we are getting somewhere, but getting where?
Because you need to pay bills lah.
You need to pay bills lah, of course. I'm not talking about survival here. I'm talking about people who have options. And like I said in past episodes, like I think most people do have options, because what do you really need to live, right? You need like a 3-room HDB, and then that's about it, right? Internet. If you want to really go basic, that you can.
You need to work that hard to have like the mansion and the cars.
Exactly.
And
Most of us are actually working for that, right? Either for status or either for comfort or either for all these other things, which is the truth if you ask me. And like for me as well, now I know like to miss this is not worth any of that. Not the fame, not the status, not the comfort and everything. That's the first answer. But I also have an answer that like I would argue that having like spending time with your kids, right, doesn't make you less career minded. In fact, I think they made me like a more career oriented person, more effective person.
focus, I guess.
In two ways. The first way is my intensity increased by like a million times, because I used to have enough time to just just take my time and do it at my pace. But now because I have a time constraint, and when I work, I really work, and my productivity increased by a lot. Second thing is that I realized that I never really had a need, because I'm not driven by money. I'm like, never mind lah. But now I have kids, and I want to fulfill my dreams, and I want them to be able to fulfill their dreams. I want to be able to elevate them as much as I can. So I have the pressure of like wanting to provide. I started to try and build systems so that I don't need my man hour to translate like 1 hour for $20 or like that, but instead like it can be 10 for 2400 for hopefully lah. So, and I'm working so hard because I realized that I've always been working so hard because I actually want the freedom to spend more time with my kids partly, and also the free time and effort to pursue the projects that I want. So it actually all in all had, I think, like I wouldn't be who I am today or have the results that I have today without my kids and my families.
That's an amazing answer, actually. I'm actually quite inspired. Maybe not enough to want to have kids.
Oh, okay. Terrence! I saw Terrence at the back. Go now!
Stop it! Go nuts.
Oh gosh.
How about the stigma? Has that ever like bugged you? Like if like for example the stay-home dad example that you gave, the guy that you know. Right, I think that's the reason. I mean, I'm only guessing the reason, right? But I'm guessing that the reason is maybe he feels emasculated by the fact that he's a stay-at-home dad, and he feels like it's not right. I mean, society is not. I don't know why. Like, it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom but not a stay-at-home dad. But I have a feeling that's why he told his son not to say anything. Like, obviously, you're saying it to me now, but was there ever a time when that would have been hard for you, and how did you get over it?
Okay, first of all, I never thought that this would ever happen to begin with, and so I don't really I didn't have to consider it. But I will have to say in the past, probably when I was younger, I definitely wouldn't like even consider that. But through this like 10 years especially, we have been exceptionally progressive, right, in the world because of the internet or whatever. The whole global thing has been more progressive. And I think me personally, it also comes with maturity, right? And if anything, I would feel that like this should be norm, right? Because it's not just about like the stay-home dad. It's also about like taking turns and supporting each other, right? So I'm supporting my wife in her career, in what she wants to do, and eventually we are a family unit, right? And also whatever she earns, I don't feel like paiseh to use her money. I'm sorry. I put in my fair share of effort and earn my fair share of money, right? Even if I don't make that money, the work I'm doing now is no joke, and the fact that I'm doing it now also made me realize that how much she has been doing for the past like 6 years, right? Because I've been taking the primary role of work, and then the secondary role as a caretaker, and she has been taking a primary role of caretaker and secondary role as a money maker, right? So like, and I realized like, oh, I should give her more money, like get her more presents. So I'm not worried to spend her money, and I think there is that balance, like if your partner appreciates what you do, because it's f***ing hard, I can tell you that. The society part, because of who I am and what I do, I've kind of shut that off. So if you stop like a guy from being a stay-home dad because of his ego, because of societal pressure, then you are making the whole family this much more unhappy, which is never a good thing, I feel.
I know couples where the lady is very happy to go out and work, and the guy is super like, that kind of like he would do a great job taking care of the house. The girl would be, honestly, I don't think she'd be much help around the house at all.
Oh gosh, like you.
Shut up. Best person for the job, right? I mean, what you're saying basically.
Yeah, best person for the job.
Now I feel like all guys should go out and do a stint as a stay-home dad. Then they will really understand like the amount of work. Like you say, you actually feel like you want to give your wife more money, more presents for the fact that, like I think to be a stay-home parent is like, it's the thankless job, it's the unglam, but the a lot of hard work. side of things.
The biggest payoff really is the connection with your kids. We like to think that like, oh, like it's going to be forever and everything. But your kids are only going to be like they're really going to really need you for like maybe 10 years of their life. Yeah. Maybe if you're lucky, you get that 10 years. So like when I'm 45 and 50, I'm not going to have another kid. Probably not. I'm not going to have another kid again. Then like, that means this is my only chance. Can I still be an actor when I'm 45 and 50 and work with like great people like I always wanted to? Yeah, possible. I could do that when I'm 60 and when I'm 70, when I'm 80. But can I be with my kid like in the same capacity that I am now? I can't. I'm having chills even just saying about it. And I realize now that I really, really cannot miss this. It's like my last chance. And I'm hoping that I'm still hoping to do good projects and everything. But to me now, like this is the primary life. This is my life where I train, where I read, where I grow, where I spend time with my kids, nurture my kids. This is my life. And when I get like acting gigs that I really love, that's an adventure. So I go on an adventure. I see work as an adventure. I go for an adventure. Like it could be 3 months, 4 months, maybe even if it's like 6 months, I hope not. Then I'll come back to this is my home. This is how I usually lead my life. And if I can afford it financially, I know it's a dream and I'm very lucky to be able to do it. This is the mindset that I have now instead of like, oh, my work is my primary world. And then I come back and I take care of my family. I provide for them. I spend a bit of time with them. Then I go back to my world again. So it just flipped on me like this past 2 weeks. Yeah.
I mean, we choose how expensive a life we want to lead, right? So the life we choose to lead, the less expenses we have, and technically the less money we so-called need to make to maintain the life. So that, I think that's also like something that I've always thought about and agree with, right? When people say like, oh, they need to work. I'm like, I mean, everyone needs to work. Everyone needs to pay the bills, but how much? I actually felt like I learned something from you for once.
Wow. So we can wait for your good news soon, right? Huh?
Okay, bye. Yeah, but tell us, okay, if you're watching this, tell us like, you know what you think about being a single dad? Like if you would be okay, ladies, if you're okay with your partner being a single dad, and guys.
And that's what you try.
Yes.
Try for a period of time to be a single dad. Stay home dad, not single dad, stay home dad. You're not asking people to divorce their wife. Stay home dad.
I'm curious to know how Singaporeans think on this, because I think you're right in saying that happily the world has gotten more progressive in just the past decade alone. So I am really, really curious to see like, you know, what you guys think about being a stay-home dad.
Yeah, stay-home dad.
Okay, I'll leave you to your stay-home dad life. Now,
yeah, give me back my freedom. I only have a few hours. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, and you let me know when you have good news, okay? Terrence.
Bye.
Bye.